Hi, welcome to Astrology for Gann Traders. My name is Olga Morales. I have returned from my travels to New York City and London, giving my workshops and presentations, and now I'm back in Melbourne, and today is one of Gann's seasonal dates when the sun moves into 0 degrees of Cancer. So it's a summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere, where I am in Melbourne, and I can tell you it's very cold today. The coldest I've felt in a long time. Anyway, today I thought we'd look at W.D.Gann's annual forecast that he used to produce a year in advance for his clients, and let's have a look at them. Here's a little snippet out of one of them. In the following pages, he wrote, I am reproducing my annual forecast issued since 1918. They appear exactly as when they were sent out 1 year in advance. So the year opens under a wave of slightly bullish influence, which culminates between January 4th to 10th. Around the 20th to the 25th, a very depressive influence is indicated for stocks, when some marked declines may be expected. There will be talk of reduction in dividends and cutting prices of steel and copper. However, a bull campaign always begins in gloom and ends in glory. So as an astrologer, we want to be looking at these dates and how he came to those conclusions. And if you have a look at when he was expecting very depressive influences for stocks, let's have a look at the 20th to the 25th of January. If you put it on a graphic ephemeris, it's really quite clear that you can see a whole lot of clustering energy at a specific point. Actually, Mars was conjunct Uranus opposite Saturn, all at 26 degrees as fixed, and also at the same time we've got Mercury going through there and the Moon. So we've got a lot of hard energy at one point, and this is important. If you put it on a 90-degree dial, you can see all that energy. You can see that them here, Mars, Uranus, Saturn, in that point. So together means that they're creating a hard aspect. Across the dial, we've got the Moon and Mercury as triggers as well, triggering these outer planets, all together on the 8th harmonic. So intense energy, clustering intense energy. What I want to have a look at now is what that looks like. Actually, the data for that time. And if we have a look at what happened, this is Gann. Remember, Gann made these forecasts a year in advance. You can actually see what happened. If I put on the horizontal ephemeris on the chart here, you can see all that clustering energy around this low. And I'll show you what that looks like. What was happening at the time was Mars was coming into the picture, and conjunct Uranus and opposite Saturn. And at the same time, the Moon was there, and also Mercury was coming into the picture. But what I want to have a look at, if we go back, I can just show you, if I animate this a little bit, if we go back, we can see how that applying Mars coming to that opposition was happening in the heavens, and a lot of hard energy happening around that time when the market was falling. That's the 17th. So if I keep going to the 16th, so you can see basically all the oppositions forming. But keep going back to when he was expecting bullish energy, which was between the 4th and the 10th. You can see that there was some positive aspects forming, some trines. Mercury is actually forming a sextile to Uranus, and then the Moon came into the picture too, creating some positive trines. But if you look here, Mercury was also forming a trine to Saturn, so it was trine Saturn and sextile Uranus. So that brought in more of the positive energy into this point here. But after that, we started getting quite a lot of hard aspects forming in the heavens, and this is when the price went down into that low point in here, which is around there, exactly when Mars came to a conjunction to Uranus and opposition to Saturn. So that was just a quick overview. And I mean, the more I have of Gann, I love reading his annual forecast. If you have a copy of them, you can find them. You'll discover that he was using ingress charts and also lunation charts for the month. So, that's what astrologers did in terms of forecasting these events. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that short presentation, and until next time. And my next gig is going to be in Hong Kong. All details are on my website if you can make it in Hong Kong, and thank you for listening.